and welcome. I'm Brian Balke, the very proud superintendent of schools, serving the communities of Goffstown and New Boston. Today is Friday, May 15th, and as we conclude our 9th week of connected learning, I wanted to take the chance to go over the survey results. Folks are likely aware, and we had a large response of people that gave us input as we can continue to improve and get better at connected learning. So I'd like to go through and share the results. I'd also like to share that all of the results, both in the aggregate as an SAU together, as well as each individual school, are posted on the website. So let's take a look at the data. So in total, we had 1,780 responses, and the responses are pretty well distributed across our different schools. This slide shows the distribution by school, and obviously our largest response was from our largest school. This next one is critically important to me. This is kind of the sweet spot, and it's important to know, and I've said all along during connected learning, that teachers and parents have flexibility. So the orange and the red here is kind of the sweet spot. I think the red 1 to 2 hours on average per day might be a little low, but I also know that many students are kind of prioritizing their time, and high school students might have a heavier day or a lighter day. But the green, 5 to 6 hours, that's probably a little more than we'd like, and the 7 is definitely too much, and the blue is too little. So if your kids are in the blue or the purple, that is something that I would encourage you to speak to your teachers about, because it is important that kids do have balance, that we're focusing on the social emotional development and the well-being of kids, as well as their academic progress. In terms of the ability to access connected learning, so 71.3% of our students have a dedicated laptop or computer. I think that's really positive. The red is the number of students that are sharing devices. We have deployed a number of Chromebooks. We do hope that if for some reason circumstances require us to continue in connected learning or some kind of a hybrid model in the fall, that we may have some additional devices that we would be able to deploy to families. The internet connectivity is obviously important. This is pretty variable between Goffstown and New Boston. Goffstown definitely has better internet connectivity. As a New Boston resident, I am not surprised by that. It's a good thing we didn't ask about cell connectivity. But the majority, a huge majority, 94% of our families do have connectivity. The next slide I'd like to show is, this is kind of, for me, probably one of the most important pieces of data that we asked you to comment on. And I would kind of describe this as the mama bear, the baby bear, and the papa bear in terms of how much work is being assigned. And the red is just the right amount. So I think that 71.2% is a pretty good percentage. I'm really pleased with that. And for our folks that are in the orange, that there are too few assignments, part of the model that we've tried to emphasize is one that allows for personal choice for enrichment. Certainly at the elementary level, there's a lot of choice for enrichment. And if your kids you think aren't being challenged enough, please reach out to your teachers and we can hit the gas for them. The 20.8% that think it's too many assignments, I would encourage you to speak with your teachers, because we do want to find kind of that sweet spot. So again, we can focus on the social emotional learning, that the overall mental health of our students is being taken care of, particularly during, obviously, this unprecedented pandemic. As a family, we're able to support our learning. 5 is strongly agree, 1 is strongly disagree. So we do have a large percentage of families that feel that they're able to support connected learning. The 1s, certainly I would encourage you to reach out to your school principals. There are other supports available, counseling, some additional academic supports that we might be able to provide for you if you reach out to us. This program is requiring too much of parents. Again, we have 149 that say they strongly agree with that. We certainly recognize that we have a lot of parents that are still working from home, sharing devices, limited internet connectivity. We certainly recognize that this is an incredible burden and challenge with all of our families. Requiring too much of my child, again, we've got 147 that say they strongly agree, but you can see 1 and 2, those would be disagree and strongly disagree. That's a very high percentage. 3 is neutral. So again, we want to make sure that we're taking care of the whole child and that we're supporting our kids as best we can. In the past week, I've been able to receive the support I need. We've got the majority, huge majority, saying that they agree. Strongly disagree, 62. So again, I would please ask those families to reach out to their teachers, reach out to their school for some additional supplemental supports. We're here. We're happy to provide those. And in terms of communication, we're wondering too much, too little, or just the right amount. The red is appropriate. The orange is too much. The blue is too little. So I'm not entirely sure what else we could do. I certainly have tried from the central office to provide a lot of communication to families, but we can always get better. Communication is something that's critically important and I truly believe in. So please reach out to your school principals. Anything that you have, questions, wonderings, we're here to help. We're here to respond to those. And lastly, I would share in total, how satisfied are you with your child's learning program? The red here is satisfied, the blue very satisfied, the orange is neutral, and the green is dissatisfied, and the purple is very dissatisfied. So I do feel badly that folks are dissatisfied. I think methodologically, I can understand that people would be dissatisfied that their kids are not able to be in school, to have that social connection, to have that personalization with their teachers. But given all that we're struggling with, I do want to just recognize that we're all doing the best we can, families, students, teachers, all of us together. So with that, I will end this week's video. One thing I'd like to highlight is next week on Monday evening, we do have a Goffstown School Board meeting. I have a reopening framework that I've been working on for a couple of weeks now. I do hope to be able to present that to the Goffstown School Board. I want people to begin to understand and kind of wrap their heads around what a reopening will look like when safety conditions allow us to do so. So with that, I wish you all a great weekend. Thanks so much for continuing to support the SAU, all of our schools, all of our teachers, and again, our families. I can't thank you enough. So I wish you well, stay healthy, make good choices, and we'll talk again next week. Thank you.